What's that sound? Oh dear. There goes the neighborhood.
Have we waited long enough, guys?
Bethesda are about to release their multiplayer game Fallout 76. The game's currently in beta, but with a lot of issues, fans are getting worried. I'm Henry, he's Gaz. Tell us about it.
It was a rocky start for Fallout 76, even before the game was officially announced. With what is traditionally a single-player franchise now making the move into online multiplayer territory, Fallout 76 developers Bethesda are treading new ground. Unfortunately for Bethesda, Kotaku's Jason Schreier leaked details of the online-only game to the public before the official announcement. The community obviously started raising questions, and were also asking why Bethesda had chosen to make the game exclusively an online experience against the series tradition. This was not exactly the start Bethesda would have wanted for the game, especially since they have to convince the fans of the changes in the first place. Ever since those early negative headlines, things seem to have gone from bad to worse for Bethesda, with an increasing amount of people not being happy with the game for one reason or another. With the early access beta now available, Bethesda have been hit with yet more criticism of the game, with talk of poor performance, bugs, glitches and exploits. One of the more notable issues was for PC players when they discovered the frame rate was locked.
Last week, a Reddit user named Watto33 discovered that the frame rate problem could be solved by editing an INI file. But Bethesda apparently had good reason to lock the frame rate in the first place, as unlocking it results in a speed hack. This means that players can move through the world at an increased movement speed, potentially giving them an edge over other players in PvP. In an update to Polygon, Bethesda confirmed that they are aware of this issue, but says a fix won't be out until the game launches. To add to the problems, according to modder Nahir, who spoke to Eurogamer recently, the core of Fallout 76 is basically identical to Fallout 4. With Fallout 76 being built on an updated version of the Fallout 4 engine, the modding community is already very familiar with how to mod the game. And with them already having the tools and experience to break apart this multiplayer game, many have raised the concern that cheat mods could quickly become a problem in this online-only PvP experience. Modding Fallout 4, a single-player-only game, only alters your own personal experience, whereas modding Fallout 76, an online multiplayer-based experience, will impact other people in the game world who may not want mods in their game.
A Reddit thread by user Teeth Are Just Done was gaining traction recently, which details 5 reasons why using the old engine for Fallout 76 maybe wasn't the best idea. Bethesda have since responded to the issues in the thread, saying many of the claims in the thread are either inaccurate or based on inaccurate assumptions. The community has, however, called to attention several issues that our teams are already actively tracking and planning to roll out fixes for. Our goal is always to deliver a great experience for all our players. Cheating or hacking will not be tolerated. We know our fan base is passionate about modding and customizing their experience in our worlds, and it's something we indeed intend to support down the road. Fallout 76 is now just a week away. We can only imagine how much this bad publicity will affect the sales and public perception of once gaming industry darlings Bethesda.
Bethesda have warned us. They said, and quote, "We're opening everyone up to the new spectacular issues none of us have encountered." And spectacular issues, that's a strong word which we've talked about before.
Yeah, this was prior to the beta even opening. It was a couple of days before. They said they just primed everybody, got everybody ready for all these issues. Now, is this no shit, right? That's basically, there's loads of shit. If you weren't familiar with Bethesda and the buggy nature of their games, that's the reputation that they've got anyway. They were expected, even they came out and said this game's got bugs and issues. So, I mean, you add those two things together, this is an extraordinarily problematic game currently in beta, and that's the question. I mean, specifically around cheating and mods. They intend for people to have mods. Yeah. How they want to support that. They said that from the very beginning. How is that compatible with the online PvP?
Yeah, exactly. Single player, it's fine because it's only your personal experience that you're tinkering with. When it comes to online, there's lots of other people in the game whose experience you're going to potentially completely ruin and break the game for them.
Fallout 76 is around about a 76 player game, so it's not like a huge MMO. It's limited to 76 players at a time. So you have one or two cheats in your game, it's going to pretty ruin it for you. I mean, it depends what cheats they've got. Yeah. I mean, running fast isn't going to affect you that much, but if they can spot you on the map and hone in on you and grief you, and cheats leading to griefing, is a big no-no, and Bethesda are coming out trying to appease people, because that's one of the main concerns about Fallout being online this year is the griefing. And they've come out and they've done this mechanic in the game where if you kill somebody and they haven't shot at you back, you're a wanted killer and you get flagged on the map for everybody to come and get a reward for killing. So that's one way they've tried to negate that. How are they going to deal with this if it is as bad as it sounds here, where the coders or the modders have already got a jump start on these mods because the engine is almost identical to Fallout 4? You can go to the Nexus mod store, which is the Fallout 4 mod site, basically take a mod from there, just it a bit, and it works on Fallout 76. Yeah. That is a big headache for Bethesda, is it not?
Yeah, I don't see how they're going to be able to properly enforce this, but they really need to figure out something, because cheating ruins every game. Yeah. Every time. If you come into a cheater, doesn't matter if you're really good at the game or if you're really bad at the game, it's still going to ruin everything. Because if you're good, you're going to come in and be like, right, well, I'm here for like a proper match. But then if you're bad, you can be like, oh, well, you're going to be completely discouraged from doing it again, because there's just cheaters out there who are better than me because they've got this and this. Yeah,
it totally ruins the experience, and that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to play. If it comes to launch day and I hear that the game is rife with cheaters, I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to buy it. I haven't bought it yet. Like, I actually cancelled my pre-order because of the beta bullshit. They promised a beta, but then I found out it was limited to like certain time limits, like 3 hours a day, and I was like, nah, sack that. That's bullshit. It's bad marketing. It's like false advertising is what it was. But you see like games like PUBG and other games where cheating is so prevalent, it ruins the experience for other people. What are they going to do? Are they got like a cheat buster or something like that? Like, are they going to have an extra software in there on top of their game engine in order to bust these cheaters? I mean, is that really necessary? It's not entirely a PvP play. It's not a competitive PvP game like PUBG is, for example. So is that necessary? Will it have to be necessary if these cheaters become really rife in the game?
Yeah, because if you're not playing it competitively, it's not going to be that much of an issue if these other players in PvP have that extra kind of thing. Like if it is the increased movement speed due to frame rates and stuff. If you're playing it just for the story and the social experience, you're not looking to go around kill each other, it's probably not going to bother you that much.
Yeah, and imagine as soon as they get have their hands on the nuke codes or whatever, and if you can have multiple nukes, that's a mod that you can totally obliterate the map if you had multiple nukes and just drop them all over the place. The mind boggles to the what this could cause, and they've only got a week left, right? Yeah, they're running out of time.
Time is almost up.
And they have come back and said, oh, we've seen some of these problems, and that's what a beta's for. And Bethesda are getting a lot of criticism for this. Wait till the game launches and then criticize them for the state of the game. This is a beta, and you sign up for that when you give your money over. You're pre-ordering for a beta version of the game. This isn't the final version of the game.
It's in the T&Cs normally, this kind of thing anyway. Like when you check your box to say, I agree to the terms and conditions, some of those terms and conditions are that it's a work in progress and isn't representative of the finished product. Same with like a game demo.
Yeah, I don't feel that Bethesda should be judged on the state of the beta, because that's what it's for. No. But if come day one these bugs are there, these cheaters are there, and these other exploits and bugs and all the other things are there, then they deserve the criticism.
This late in the game, it suggests that the waters may be a bit rough and shaky, but you can't completely judge it because it's not done yet. They haven't had the time to fix these things because it's so close to release, which perhaps I think they should have had the beta earlier or had the release date later, but that's...
No, that is true, because beta doesn't mean what it used to mean. Betas these days are more like play tests for people. It's like if you've got a beta right close to launch, all that is an opportunity for people to play the game to see if they want to buy it or not. And the way that they've done this, like in the olden days, a beta might be months before launch. Give the developers enough time to fix all the bugs and to iron everything out. This doesn't feel like they're going to be able to do that in time because of the amount of issues that people are highlighting. So this doesn't feel like a beta. And like I said, betas are not seen like they used to. Are people expecting too much from the beta now? Is this why there's just so much criticism to Bethesda?
Well, even as games develop and stuff, and then like a trailer will come out saying this is alpha footage. So that's still in-house. It's not gone out to anyone else. No third parties, no players. and sometimes that can still look incredible. Like the Cyberpunk gameplay 40-minute thing, that's alpha, and that still looks really good. So I think the bar's been shifted higher and higher, so people kind of expect a beta to be closer to the end product than it often is. But the nature of a beta is that it's not the end product.
I feel like Bethesda are partially to blame for people's expectations here, because they've put so much into the marketing of this beta, and it's how they're trying to sell, trying to get people on. But it's like, pay now, you get access right now. But that feels a bit dodgy because you've got to pay for the beta, essentially.
That's a whole other kind of debate you can have for like a whole video. Do you want to be paying for beta access because it's not a full product?
That's it, because essentially you're paying to get access to their game, so it feels like a transaction. It feels like you should get something from it, although you could technically cancel your pre-order prior to launch. You could just play the beta and cancel day before and get your money back, which I strongly advise people who I strongly advise everybody to do, actually, because if you're still unsure, given all these issues that have been highlighted, the day before release, just cancel your pre-order, wait till it gets launched, wait to see what people are saying about the game, whether the game is in a fit state. You've lost nothing. You've got your money back, and if you don't want the game in that state, which I certainly don't want cheaters running around and modders and stuff like that, then you've lost nothing. I think Bethesda might feel the brunt of the decision that they've made here to highly market this beta. Because what do you associate with Fallout 76 now? It's cheaters, it's people running around fast, it's poor optimization. There's so many things that people have highlighted in the beta, and that's all that people associate with Fallout 76 now. So if people cancel their pre-orders, if poor sales result, and people lose faith in the game because of all these negative headlines, Bethesda have only got themselves to blame.
Yeah, and it's not the first time this has happened. Over the last maybe 10 years, their reputation has got dirtier and dirtier just from how buggy things are, how their industry practice is. They're not who they were in terms of like public perception.
Exactly.
They very much were industry darlings and much beloved, but no one's untouchable.
Yeah, and with the fact that it is a multiplayer, these are the questions raised in the first place when we first heard about Fallout 76, is that they're just chasing the bucks. They're chasing this is a cash grab game. They're not doing this for the core fans, because not many of the core fans want this, although that is a debatable point in itself. I feel like this is Bethesda is a huge learning curve for them. They've not expected any of these problems, and with the gaming industry as it is these days, every issue gets highlighted and echoed around the internet, and it gets remembered, and people hear about issues so quickly these days that maybe they need to rethink how they do these online experiences in the future, because come day one, if those issues aren't fixed, they're not going to hear the end of it.
Because this is an experiment for them, going out into this multiplayer style environment. They half did it with Elder Scrolls, but that was done by in partnership with another company who I can't remember who it was. But yes, if this doesn't go well, this is going to really scramble what they've probably got planned for other things. But then on the flip side, if it does very, very well, they'll be like, okay, let's look for sequels or other things we can do.
Judging by the current reception or current perception of this game, ever since it was announced, I can't see them clawing it back. Especially with only a week left. I don't know. That's what I think. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. What do you think about the state of how betas are presented to us these days? What do you think about Bethesda and all these bugs and all these potential cheaters in Fallout 76? Would you go anywhere near Fallout 76? You just don't like the idea of it being an online only game? Let us know all that and your opinions down in the comments below. So that's it for today's video. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll click the notifications bell if you want to get notified when we release these videos. Check out patreon.com/prettygoodgaming if you want to support our content, and we will see you again in the next video. Until then, bye for now.
So as we stand here today, we pray that the world will know peace. But if that is not our destiny, if war must come, we stand together knowing that here in Vault 76, our future begins.